Today we are visiting the northern edge of Conway Lake at the Mill Street location in Conway, New Hampshire. Conway Lake is a 1,316-acre water body with a maximum depth of 45 feet. You can find it in Carroll County in eastern New Hampshire, which, if you didn't already know, is conveniently located in the United States. The lake is located in the towns of Conway and Eaton, just to the east of the White Mountains, and is a part of the Saco River watershed. But this lake has quite an interesting history, if I do say so myself. Now, its history does include some of the town's industry, and it even had a renaming at some point, because Conway Lake was formerly known as Walker's Pond. At the northern edge of the lake on Mill Street, there is a park by that name that comprises the Conway Lake Dam and the original mill site. If you didn't know, in 1773, 100 acres were granted to Captain Timothy Walker by the town of Conway in order to build a sawmill and a grist mill. It was later sold to H.B. Cotton, who began to make boxes and piano backings. How cool is that? Henry Peary was the owner of the mill last when it happened to burn down and was never rebuilt, which actually played a significant role in hurting the town's economy. And for some added perspective, in 1817, the Gazetteer of the state of New Hampshire said of Conway, "It only contains 4 corn mills, 5 sawmills, 1 mill for dressing cloth, 2 carding machines, 3 distilleries, and 3 retail stores." But it would take the coming of the train tracks in 1865 for the mills to start to prosper. At that time, logs were floated over Conway Lake for processing before being hauled off by freight car to Portsmouth and other places. Together with the nearby granite from Redstone, the mills on Mill Street were responsible for producing wood for several train stations in New England. In 1952, a public beach would be added as deeded to the town from Public Service Company of New Hampshire. The town would then go on to raise $100 for improvements to the beach. With the success of this public beach, then would soon come the added boat launch. And if you're into exploring and finding all kinds of ancient relics, legend has it that George Chapman found artifacts around 1965 from the Native American Sokoke tribe, which had a village on the north shore of the lake. But most people utilize Conway Lake as a source of recreation, with the public beach located off of Mill Street in Conway. People make use of this boat launch for all kinds of things, from swimming to boating, canoeing, and fishing, which, by the way, if you are going to be doing some fishing there, you can expect to find some warm water, fresh water fish, from chain pickerel to brown bullhead to landlocked salmon, largemouth bass, rainbow trout, and of course, smallmouth bass. But the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department does require fishing licenses, and the lake waters are regularly patrolled. So just keep that in mind if you do want to include some fishing in your Conway Lake adventure. But if you're there for looking at nature and observing all that there is to see, the lake is home to many herons, loons, eagles, plenty of deer. Be cautious of snakes, stinkpot turtles, painted turtles, and snapping turtles. When we first got there, I thought that we had picked a day that would be somewhat low traffic, so we shouldn't have had a problem parking. And I don't want to say that we did have a problem parking, but I did happen to bring my land boat, and there were a few people that had already brought themselves into the parking lot with trailers and trucks, which is definitely to be expected. So it was a little tricky, but there was definitely ample room to make something work and us to feel comfortable doing that, so nobody was in anybody else's way. And hilariously enough, by the time we were done dealing with our bug spray and sunscreen, because Violet insisted that we have both on the second that a bug hit her skin, the people with the trucks had already left. So I guess that was all that worry for nothing, which was kind of funny in hindsight. So I guess the main takeaway here would be that even if the beach looks empty, the parking lot most likely will not be. Oh, and I believe there is a permit or fee or something, but you can always check with the lake host, who should be on duty when you arrive. But we did have a few moments of fun blowing some dandelions on the walk in and checking out the board about the cotton mill. And then we took some time to peek at the dam because, I mean, it's so cool to see right there and up close. I mean, we got as close as we could, but safety first, especially with a little one in tow. Not that she's that little anymore, but she's still little, you know. So once you're done exploring the parking lot area, which does include a public porta potty, it looks like, you can make your way safely through the crosswalk, across the street, and over the dam to the public beach and boat launch area. We came today with serious business of exploring the area, swimming in the lake, and checking out whatever cool rocks and wildlife we could see, all while I try to do some sunbathing. Violet and I took some time to have some pup missions and build some sandcastles, but I think the highlight was definitely, at least for me, going into the water and swimming, because it was pretty refreshing on this super warm day. There weren't a lot of boats when we went this time, but I will say that we have been back a few more times since this because it was a pretty decent hit for Violet. But if you are someone who is very sensitive to smells or what have you, this may not be the swimming hole for you, depending on the level of activity that is going on. Because while you're not going to find any campfires or smoking or fireworks or anything like that, you will have what naturally comes with a boat launch at the boat launch. And that can vary very greatly, as New Hampshire does not have any type of emissions testing, and we can just leave it at that. Oh, but wait, before you go, as you cross the street back over into the parking lot, make sure that you check out the little free public library. Even if you're someone who's looking to catch a few rays while you pop over into the lake, this could help you out with your reading material that you may need or have forgotten to help you enjoy your stay.